Ruben, I still maintain that I do not have problem with Obiano.
If you heard that a governor once had a governor's aide once had about 200 million naira cash in his car, that the governor said he should go and deliver it somewhere. And then the governor claimed that it was for contract. And they caught the person. That would you still support that kind of governor? The person said, now the people that whether they ruin this country, they'll be that. Why will I support such a person? And I said that person is Peter Obi. Google it. That person is Peter Obi. But you don't know about that because you choose to be blind by your followership. I said every
this
time.
This is true and can be confirmed.
Google it. Is no. I said there was a governor who once supported another candidate that wanted to become a godfather until his person fought against him. And the person came out to say that he was demanding for 7.5 billion naira from him for the money he used to support him. And he said, now those APC governor. And I said, that's Peter Obi. That was what Obiano said. And once it is the person they support, automatically it becomes is a lie. But when it is another person, it is the truth. It doesn't work that way. The truth is not selective.
The way Seyi Law was shouting, Google it, Google it. Were you not tempted to believe him? But now that he said Google it, he said two things. Number one, that Peter Obi's aide was caught with 200 million naira, 250 million naira cash. That's one. Two, that Obiano said that Peter Obi asked for 7.5 billion for him, Peter Obi, to support Obiano for governor. That has also been debunked. Peter Obi debunked it by himself. Hear what he said.
How did you lose grip of the politics of Anambra State? You and the governor, your successor, Willie Obiano, you seem to be at daggers drawn.
No way.
What is happening between the two of you?
I don't know where you get your facts.
No, I read the stories in the papers.
No, that's wrong.
He has been accused you of all kinds of things.
No, what was he accused me of? Can you give me one?
Well, he accused you, for example, that he had to pay you for him to become governor. He accused you that you were not as successful a governor as you claimed, and your media man, Valentine Obienya, has responded to some of those.
Ruben, nobody have accused me in Anambra State.
No, I'm saying the governor.
No. I live in Anambra State. And nobody in Anambra State will you meet that's Anambra indigenous, even when he doesn't like me, will tell you Peter Obi was not successful as a governor. It's impossible. Come, let's walk the streets of Onitsha. I live in Onitsha. And as you know, I was a governor who was not traveling with routine of securities and everybody. Until today, it remains the same. Come, let's walk the street. That's how you know. And I live there. It's not as if I finished governing. Anambra State is the only place that have a home, have a house called my own. If you see any piece of land or house belonging to Peter Obi in Abuja, burn it down or take it. If you see one in Lagos, take it. Why have a flat in Lagos? I live in Onitsha. Not even anywhere, Onitsha. Due to my own house there. That's where I live. And I'm always there. I came from there yesterday. Can show you my boarding pass. I came from the last flight from Asaba yesterday. When I finish, I go back there. Who will live there if you didn't do well? Every road you see in Onitsha today was constructed by me. If you cross the bridge, you go and ask anybody. So nobody can tell you that you see children doing well today in America. It is me. I changed the school dynamics. They were number 26 and 27 when I came into office. And I've just called the banks where I left money. That is how you know. So it's not a question of this. Every secondary school in Anambra State, for example, have 2 buses. I bought them. I bought one in my first tenure. I bought the other one in my second tenure. No, they've never had any since I left. They've not had any since I left. Just to give you one example. I bought computers. The highest amount of desktop computers ever bought by a government in Africa was purchased from us by HP. Truly Ostanek. He said it the other day in the news. 30,000 computers paid up front. Innocent, I paid him 5 billion up front to supply us vehicle 1 year before he delivered one vehicle. So these are records, they are not there. So nobody will have accused me of anything. And let me tell you, you're wrong. Since I left as governor of Anambra State, nobody, not Anambra State government, directly or indirectly have paid me 1 naira. I've not received any
Why?
form.
Are you not entitled to pension?
I don't know, but I'm saying I've not received anything. When people were bringing us of laws to say, Governor, this, Governor, I told them, when I leave here, I leave here. Never received 1 naira. I want you to put it on record and make that.
But you still haven't answered my question.
Yes.
What's the relationship between you and Governor Willie Obiano?
We have a good relationship. He's the governor. He's elected to focus on to serve for the people. Not my relationship with him is irrelevant. He's elected. You see, this is where I will get it wrong. You must focus on what you elected, women. When I was in office, I can tell you, I and most of the elites are not in good terms. But I wasn't elected. You have seen me say it every day. Even my own wife comes back and says, I met Ruben, I met this man, he's not happy with you. I said to her, listen, my job is not to make people happy. There's people in the entertainment industry whose job is to make everybody happy. Me, I'm not happy myself. I'm elected to fix school, fix road, and do this. You must focus on what you're elected to do. He's not elected to have a good relationship with me. He's elected to do the roads, fix the school, make Anambra State work. For example, he gave an example that some people are exporting bitter leaf and ogo worth of $5 million. We want to see the farm. We want to see this is what is elected to do, not to keep it to be happy or do this thing. I've just told you in issue of saying I paid money. I said I have never received 1 kobo. 1 kobo from anybody as an ex-governor. I'm not looking for one. My focus is how do we make Nigeria work?
Yeah. See, governors usually in Nigeria have problems with their deputy governors. When the governor leaves, he tends to have a problem with his successor. I've tried to cite the example of Obiano and Obi, which you don't want to accept, but you also have Ganduje and Kwankwanso, you have Buhari and Jonathan at the higher level, and so many examples like that. What do you think is responsible for these conflicts?
Ruben, I still maintain that I do not have problem with Obiano. My problem with anybody in government is when you're not doing the right thing. A governor recently invited me to campaign. You know, that I should come, he's still to campaign for next year. And he was owing salary. And he was owing pension. And he has a lot of debts. And I said to him, let me be honest with you. I don't see how you can be owing people. If I had to be shocking, a chief of staff of a governor was asked, I listened to it in the telly, that you're owing 18 months salary. He said, no, it's wrong. They're only owing for 11. And you're campaigning for another one. No way, this is sheer madness. You cannot fulfill the least obligation, which is paying salary. I don't consider paying salary as an achievement. That's not what if people are elected to pay salary like it's being celebrated today, people are elected to pay pensions, then we might as well just don't have governors and just pay the people directly. It will even reduce the cost of keeping the governor. You are elected to be a resource creator and manager.
Creator. I like that.
You should create wealth. Right. You should be able to say, what do we do to save money? Yeah. I didn't print money to save the money I told you I saved.
Yeah.
You don't need to borrow money. Yeah, we have people who say they achieved something when they borrowed a fortune.
Yeah.
And put the state in a difficulty as they were living and are being celebrated. I want us to celebrate people based on you came here, you met 1 naira, you increased it to 10. That's what I want to see.
And I said that person is Peter Obi. Google it. That person is Peter Obi. I said every
this
time.
This is true and can be confirmed.
Google it is no.
The way Seyi Law was shouting, Google it, Google it. Were you not tempted to believe him? I was. In fact, I was afraid that, what if what he's saying is true? Even Teju Babyface that was interviewing him in that podcast could not even take his phone to Google it. I'm guessing he was also tempted to believe him. He was shocked. And many people in that shock might take what Seyi Law was saying as true. I guess he thinks Nigerians will not Google it. And many Nigerians will indeed not Google it. But not me. We, you know that statement that Peter Obi used to say, go and verify. We verify everything. We didn't just come to start supporting Peter Obi because Peter Obi paid us. I have not met, okay, maybe once or twice I met him in a flight. Okay, twice. Once from Lagos. And he was seated just in front of me. Very cool. In fact, we were waiting for our flight together. And we were just, I could access him. That is how down to earth Peter Obi was. Or is. And I chatted with him. This was some 5 years back. Before he even talks about contesting for president. That's how down to earth he was. And another time too, also in the airport. I've never met him one-on-one to say, okay, let's discuss your policy. No, I have not had any close communication with Peter Obi. The closest I've had is with his aide, and it's particularly with respect to that 2023 elections. Now, Peter Obi, I have not met. But when you say things, I always like to go and verify, because the things that he has done, the good things, they have blown my mind to the extent that what Seyi Law is saying might be true. Somebody can be so good that his bad side will become so small that they are negligible. For me, that is how Peter Obi has become. So when I hear allegations like this, I always want to go and verify. There are so many of them, but we're taking care of these two, and we are going to bust all of them. You know how you have those cartoon programs that they call Ghostbusters? This one is going to be Peter Obi Propaganda Busters. That's what we're going to do. Because Nigerians deserve to know the truth. They shouldn't allow themselves to be deceived, right? With propaganda, calling Peter Obi, giving Peter Obi a bad name just to hang him. No, we won't allow it. So let us Google it. Now, this is the Google query. Peter Obi's aide caught with 200 million naira in cash. And then we see all of those news there. Now, look at this first one. We open it. We open the second one. Note that this first article by Vanguard News was on the 1st of July, 2009. I guess they now did another follow-up on the 4th of July, 2009. 4th of July. And then if you scroll down, you'll see this post. It resurfaced again, 255 million, in 2018, 6th of August 2018. The matter came up again. This time it was the APC asking the police to publish whatever they found from the investigation in 2013. Right? So from 2009, when the incident happened, to 2023, when Seyi Law was giving this interview, so many evidence has come out. But Seyi Law did not tell you guys about it. But let's go on. The first one is this. It says Peter Obi in the web of 250 million naira controversy. July 1, 2009. Now, Seyi Law did not tell you that that case was investigated thoroughly. In fact, it caused a lot of problem in the State House of Assembly of Anambra State. I'm going to take my time to read it because I don't want to miss anything in this. So, pardon me if this video is a little bit long. Okay, since that incident a fortnight ago in Lagos, Governor Obi has been on the receiving end with members of the opposition, especially PDP, calling for a full probe into the matter. Some of those who are eyeing, take note of that, some of those who are eyeing the governorship seat in the state called for his resignation, and in the alternative, that the PDP-dominated House of Assembly of Anambra should do what? Should impeach him. should impeach him. Now, shortly after the incident, the Southeast Zonal Chairman of PDP, Olisa Metu, who is from Anambra State, visited the House of Assembly and castigated the lawmakers for not cashing in on the issue to impeach Obi. To him, it was an opportunity. Now, in setting up the committee to impeach Obi, the House observes that whereas the media in both internet and print were awash with reports that aides of Governor Obi were intercepted with 250 million in cash, and whereas the media assistant to the governor had dispelled the report stating that the money belonged to a government contractor, not to Obi or to Obi's aide. It belonged to a government contractor who preferred to carry cash to buy vehicles ordered by government, Anambra State government. There was need for the House to get into the root of the matter. The House noted that since the governor himself had called for a full investigation by the police. Now, Seyi Law did not tell you that even Peter Obi himself called on the police to investigate the matter way back in 2009. Seyi Law did not tell you that. Let's get into more details. It was proper for the House of Assembly to look into the matter as part of its oversight function. When the issue came up on the floor, it was rowdy in 2008. Members were engaged in a rowdy session. All right? Some lawmakers threatened to form a parallel house if it was not properly handled. That's to tell you that the State House of Assembly of Anambra, that was largely populated by PDP members. Peter Obi was in Abga. They were looking for opportunity to impeach Peter Obi. And if they saw any wrongdoing, they were not one to let him go by. Now here, as it turned out, it was the same pattern in 2008, in which there were House of Assembly members, based on their political inclinations, who find it difficult. They find it difficult to see the good side of Peter Obi. They just want to look for anything bad. Now, is it that kind of person or those kind of people that you will take whatever they take seriously, particularly when there is no evidence? Let's read on. Another member, Sylvester Okeke, observed that unless there was another thing the House wanted from Obi, the issue of 250 million should be laid to rest. In the end, the committee could not submit the report, and belief in some quarter was that the matter had died a natural death. The committee could not get anything to submit because it was false. And that is what Seyi Law is hanging on to tell to Nigeria. Google it, as if he was sure. We have seen that it's a lie, but there is more. Recall that Obi, who appeared surprised at the dimension the matter was taking, because it was shocking, had earlier petitioned the Inspector General of Police, Michael Kiro then, urging him to investigate the matter. This is Obi asking the police to investigate the matter, especially the angle that arms and foreign currencies were found in the official cars that were going for repairs in Lagos, which carried the said 250 million. So it was not only that they carried 250 million cash for money laundering that Seyi Law is claiming. They were also claiming that there were arms and ammunition and foreign currencies in those vehicles that were being taken for maintenance and repairs. So Peter Obi, the brouhaha over the interception of the said money was a grand political conspiracy to smear his image in what was a straightforward contractual and business transaction. It was gathered that the money in question had since been returned to the contractor, who is already procuring the vehicles with the vehicles that the money was meant for. Now, Seyi Law did not tell you this. Seyi Law did not tell you this, that the money has been returned. The police has returned the money to the contractor, and the contractor has started use the money to buy the vehicles that he got the contract for. The money was for the contractor. Now, this was in 2008, 2009. Indeed, when the opposition observed that the arms and foreign currency angles could not click, they saw that they could not click. That's the opposition members of the Anambra State House of Assembly. They saw that they could not click. They dropped them and concentrated on the 250 million, which to them was money belonging to Anambra people and which the administration of Peter Obi was laundering. The same issue came up again during the recent visit of members of the Nigerian Guild of Editors to Anambra State. The guild was in the state for its standing committee meeting and seized the opportunity to visit the projects executed by the Obi administration. During the dinner, in honor of the governor, one of the editors raised the issue and wanted the governor to clarify the situation. Not wanting to preempt ongoing investigation by the Inspector General of Police, Obi said, though it would be better to allow the IG to complete the investigation, there is the need for the editors to know that the matter was a genuine business transaction by the state government. According to him, the outcome of the police investigation will still be made public so as to put the matter to rest. Since Peter Obi mounted the saddle in 2006, one of the positive things often said about him is his transparent manner. He has been piloting the affairs of the state. His admirers and even political foes would readily admit that if the previous administration in the state had been prudent in the management of the finances of the state since its creation, the way that Peter Obi is doing, Anambra would have gone far in terms of development. Now, this was in July 1, 2009. July 4, 2009, police launched the investigation, another investigation. They launched another investigation. So tell you that this issue was investigated, reinvestigated, and reinvestigated. Fresh investigation after the police had concluded the first investigation and returned the money back to the contractor. On July 4, they launched fresh investigation. Contrary to speculations that the case of recent recovery of a whopping 250 million naira cash in a private office of Peter Obi, of Anambra State in Apapa, Lagos, by eagle-eyed policemen in Lagos has been arrested, indications emerged over the week that police authorities in Abuja have commenced thorough investigation into the matter. This is just as untold details of circumstances that led to the strange discovery and the role played by all parties involved, including the police, were unfolded by reliable police sources at the force headquarters. Vanguard gathered that on the said day, which was Sunday, police authorities in Lagos arrived and received information from one of the aides to Governor Peter Obi that a huge sum of money was being conveyed to the governor's private company at Aerodrome Road in Apapa, Lagos. Based on this, Lagos State Police Commissioner Akboyibo Mavo led some of the officers, including the area commander in Apapa, and they stormed the company. Police sources said on getting to the scene, they saw the exotic jeeps that transported the money, which were arranged in suitcases inside the premises. The police reportedly instructed one of the aides to the governor, who was seen there, to inform governor of their intention to inspect the vehicles. At this juncture, according to report, governor instructed his aides not to open the vehicles until he comes to Lagos, which was the proper thing to do. As soon as the commissioner of police was informed of the governor's directive, he reportedly deployed policemen to guard the vehicles until the governor arrived. Now, that Sunday at about 2:30 p.m., the commissioner of police and Governor Obi arrived at the scene with their entourage, and the police commissioner insisted that the vehicles must be thoroughly searched in the presence of everybody, because the information received was a case of arms and ammunition being stockpiled for the 2010 election in Anambra State. Make una dey hear. Governor Obi, who was reportedly not comfortable with the directive, was said to have capitulated by directing his aides to open the vehicles, and this led to the discovery of the whopping sum of 250 million naira. Sunday Vanguard learned that at this stage, the Commissioner of Police quickly alerted Inspector General Michael Kiro who directed the governor that the governor should make a statement over the discovery. Now, they did all of that, finished all of that, right? Carried out all manner of investigation, and at the end of the day, what did they get? So far, the sources at Force Headquarters said directives will soon conclude their investigation into the matter based on the fact that police authorities vowed to get to the root of the case without fear or favor. Now, this was in 2009. In 2013, after APC was formed, they visited that matter again. Just because they want to tarnish the image of Peter Obi, they visited the matter and they asked the police to investigate. So he also alleged that for 7 good years, Governor Obi never brought any traditional ruler a vehicle. But now the election was 3 weeks away. He had been going about presenting jeeps to traditional ruler and town union presidents in a desperate bid to install his business partner. After all of this said, Seyi Law did not tell you that the police concluded their investigation and exonerated Peter Obi. And that the vehicles that were said to have contained that were vehicles that belonged to the contractor, not Peter Obi. Seyi Law did not tell you that. Another thing Seyi Law did not tell you is this. He is claiming that, Peter Obi's aide was caught with 250 million naira cash, insinuating money laundering. Were we not in this country when, on the eve of election, bullion van was seen carrying cash, totaling billions of naira into Tinubu's house? And when Tinubu was confronted, Tinubu did not deny it. He said, is it your money? Is your money missing? Seyi Law did not remember that. You see the selective amnesia. Just to give Peter Obi a bad name so that they can hang him. But you guys have failed. If anybody should be investigated for money laundering, should it not be a Tinubu that was directly involved in such huge cash? Not on an ordinary day, but on the eve of an election, should it not be?